When you go through life, you lose friends from time to time. Maybe you fight with them. I lost a friend recently. I won't say his name because it doesn't matter. But it was like I've known him my whole life, and he's like a brother to me. But, I asked him several times to stop using the Lord's name in vain. And he just put it back in my face and kept doing it and doing it. GD this, GD that. You're not going to do that in front of Bob McCauley. I don't want to have to be judged. I'm not going to say get up to heaven because who knows where I'm going. But I don't want to be facing God and say, why didn't you tell him to shut up? Well, I didn't want to offend him. So you think more of this guy than you do me? So I didn't want that conversation. So anyway, I probably will never speak to that guy again. I made it real clear to him. I said, if suppose I just went up and started talking about your family, or your sister who passed away, or your mom and dad who had passed away, and I start really shit talking these people, really saying bad things, would you like that? Would you like me to start? You'd be outraged. How dare you? Show some respect. Well, people need to show respect for somebody, when they say, please don't use the Lord's name in vain. It's something that's important to me. Didn't matter. But two guys that, my best friend in high school, one of them was Steve Smith. I lost touch with him years ago, but nothing really happened. But I've had two friends that kind of disappeared on me. One of them was Scott. He taught me how to play guitar, and now he's just gone. He just won't contact me. He came to see me one time in my business, and no matter what, he won't get together with me or talk to me or come over. I used to go to bring my guitar, and he'd show me stuff. He used to work for my dad at Wolverine Engineers. Just disappeared, and I've lost him as a friend. And I've seen his wife a few times out and about and said hello. Joy, she's a wonderful person, but I lost him. He's gone. Scott taught me how to play guitar, and just a really good friend, so, but he's gone. And then another one was my friend Tom from college, and I moved out to New York in '84, and he lived in Long Island, so we used to get together all the time. We were always going out with each other and hanging around and going to the city and going to Long Island and spending time. And he came out to my house, and I cooked for him one time, and him and his wife. And anyway, he became a medical doctor. He became a OBGYN, and that was in '92. And then he just stopped contacting me. And no matter how many times I contacted him, how many times I called him, he just was gone. That was it. He may as well have just died. I never found out what the problem was. I mean, he wouldn't contact me to tell me. Meaning, did it something I said? Are you just not going to be just going to hang out with doctors now? Who knows? But we were very close friends back in college. We were really tight with each other, Tom Earhart. And he was kind of lived in the house where we had our fraternity. He never joined the fraternity. But a great guy. We went camping together. Very, very close friends. A guy was a smoker, so that was always a problem, to be honest with you, because he couldn't stop smoking. But, I don't know what happened with all that. I don't know why it happened. But I've called him many times through the years, but I gave up years and years ago because I could see this guy does not want to talk to me anymore, no more contact. And I just said, fine. He's probably retired now out in New York. He lived in Northport, I believe. But this is what happens in life, somebody you're really close with. And it's one thing when you lose touch, but, when they just disappear for whatever reason, Scott and Tom, really kind of sad. But a good friend of mine, we did a lot of stuff together. That was Ken Beach. And he's godfather to my younger son, Philip. And we still stay in contact. And I went and visited him when he was in Korea, and we traveled all through Korea together, and I stayed with him. I was there for about a month. He was in a little tiny, it's called Yeongchun, north of Seoul, and this place was in the middle of nowhere. I went back, there was, thatched roofs, and, it was very primitive. It was it was an outhouse. The community ate together every single night. They had a little dog, and one of the funniest things I ever heard him tell me about that was they were all talking about they're going to have dog tonight because Koreans eat dog, and so he's having dog. You know, he was really shocked. I mean, quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, you're going to eat a dog. You get a chicken, but a dog's like, what? A dog? I can't eat a dog. So yeah, I don't know why you would eat a chicken and not a dog. But at any rate, so the funny part was that they said they're having dog, and my friend was up there with everybody where they were eating, and he looked back to see the community dog, and everybody just started laughing hysterically because it's like, we're not eating our dog, we're eating dog. And they go out and get these little puppies, and that's how they have the real young fresh dogs, and there's certain breeds that they eat or whatever. It's mostly the older people. A Korean guy, when I was in Korea one time, because I came back in 2005, and that place was so well advanced, you know, so far advanced from what I knew when I was there in 1980. It was, you know, I mean, Seoul was built up, but the rest of the country is very primitive compared to the way it is now. From what I saw of it, geez, we went up to, almost got up to Yeoncheon. I mean, the traffic up there was terrible. The traffic in Seoul is some of the worst you'll ever see anywhere. So, at any rate, just a couple stories, you know, friends that I still have and friends that I lost. This is life. What's most important, of course, it's your family, and ultimately, it's God.